Welcome back. We will not be doing a do now today. Instead, we're going to be looking at globalization and its impact on labor. Labor means like work and jobs. So, we're going to look at the global economy, how it's affecting jobs around the world, and then we'll look at some unique jobs in Asia and how globalization might impact them. So, our big goal for today is how does globalization impact labor? Um, One of the key ideas here is that companies want cheap labor. They want to hire workers for the lowest prices possible. Just like we want to buy products at the cheapest price, companies want to buy their labor at the cheapest price. So if you are a global company, that means you can go anywhere in the world to hire people. You don't have to just hire Americans or Europeans. You can go to Asia, hire Indonesians and Vietnamese. Right? You have lots of options for where you hire people. They tend to go to countries that are the cheapest, but can still get the job done. Right? They still have to be able to accomplish the job, whatever it is, but at the cheapest price possible. So the way it works is developed countries have very expensive employees who are highly trained and educated. So only jobs that require high education and training tend to be in developed countries. Now, there's no factories, there's no mines, but there are like the design, the software writers, the inventors tend to be in developed countries, which are the expensive jobs. When it comes to things like a factory worker, well, you don't need specific skills or anything like that. A lot of people are capable of doing it as long as the country has factories and systems in place to ship things. You can go anywhere. You do it at the cheapest country. So countries like China, which pay their employees very little, are good for making, having factories. Whereas somewhere like the Congo doesn't have the factories, but it does have the resources. And their people get paid even less. So companies go to wherever the cheapest labor is. Today we're going to talk about one of the main issues that's coming with this is that maybe there's something cheaper than workers. Maybe there's automation, meaning like machines that can replace people, or AI, artificial intelligence, that can replace workers. And they're willing to go all around the world to find the cheapest workers. If they can replace workers with something even cheaper, they're going to do it. So as technology increases, there's less need for humans to be doing things. We don't need manual people doing things when a machine can replace them. Machines are cheaper. It's a lot of investment. You got to create the technology and create the actual product. But once you've created it, you don't have to pay it an hourly wage. You don't have to pay it health care or retirement benefits. They're more efficient. They never call in sick. They can work 24 hours a day in theory. You have to maintain them, but again, far cheaper and way more productive than a human being. The pandemic sort of illustrated this, where a lot of people couldn't work. You couldn't have human interactions. We had to rely on machines, and a lot of things were able to get done without human interaction. And this has just sort of put companies on this path of, well, we don't really need workers anymore. So what kind of jobs are at risk? Well, the jobs that are likely to be replaced by machines are jobs that don't require a lot of thinking, creativity. So if we look at this, the further to the right are more likely to be automated, that could be easily replaced by a machine. So waiters, cashiers, retail, but also loan officers, credit card analysis. Right? These can be easily replaced by a machine. And the more expensive you are, so higher up on this graph, the more the company wants to replace you. Right? This benefits manager, they make $125,000 a year, but they could easily be replaced with a good software code. Right? So those jobs are extremely at risk. These ones are easily replaced, but they don't get paid as much, so it's not as big of a deal, but there's a lot of them. It's like cashiers. They don't get paid very well, but most companies have had to hire a lot of cashiers historically. Wouldn't it be easier to replace all those people with just a couple of machines? And that's why you have self-checkout. That's why you have people ordering on their phones. You don't need a cashier to do that. You have kiosks at McDonald's. You don't need those jobs anymore. They're being replaced. Now, jobs over here require a lot more creativity and human thought. So it's hard to get a straight machine to just replace that. But recently, there's been the development of AI. And AI, what we're finding out, is capable of doing a lot of that thinking. So a lot of these jobs over here might be at risk of being replaced by AI in the future. These are different countries based on their risk. So as you go up, the more likely you are to be replaced. You can see there's different countries in Europe and Asia that are likely to be replaced a lot of their jobs. Here's some of the most common jobs who have lost professions within the last 20 years. Telemarketer, anybody who does anything on phones, mail carrier, financial analyst, waiters, and again, cashiers. These aren't jobs that require a lot of human input that machines can do them easily. And here's some examples of that. Here's a hotel, and they got a fake person there to check you in because they don't need a person. They can do it on a computer. Here's a warehouse. You have machines going and collecting stuff and then loading them onto trucks. You don't need people working in warehouses anymore. This is a pizza ATM. You put in your order, a hot pizza comes out. You don't need people at all. You need someone to stock the machine, but you don't even need a cook anymore. Here is a fryer, a robot fryer who's going to fry up the food. And of course, we got self-driving cars coming out that might be replacing a lot of these driving positions. Ubers, delivery drivers, truck drivers, they're at risk of losing their job. And this is some of the AI that might replace, they're not necessarily manual labor, but AI can replace a lot of legal work, a lot of office support, different business and financial operations can all be replaced by AI. We're going to watch several videos of machines that can replace people, from burgers, fast food, to entire stores that don't need people. After we watch those videos, think about your dream job. How likely is it to be replaced by a machine or AI in the future? Is your career goal at risk? What we're going to do today is you're going to walk around and you're look at some unique jobs that are in East Asia. They're not really many other places in the world. So you need to identify what the job is and summarize what they do. What country is it from? And then how do you think globalization will impact this job? As East Asia becomes more globalized, will technology replace it? Or maybe will this job be moved to a country that could do it cheaper? And we'll do a gallery walk.